everyone. Today I'm going to take you through a 5-minute hip opening yoga stretch. And we're going to start today in a seated position. And we're going to slowly start to walk our hands forward. Just getting those hips loosened up a little bit. Starting to stretch them out. Taking some nice deep breaths. Walking over to one side. Walking your hands over to the other side. You should feel a nice side stretch here, as well as your hips. Coming back to center, walking slowly back to a seated position. And we're going to switch our legs over. So if whatever leg was in front, and now we're going to bring the other leg in front. Start to walk slowly towards the front. Stretching the opposite hip area here. Walking your hands over to one side. Making sure that your hips remain on the mat, that they're not lifting as you're stretching. So if you find that they're lifting off the mat, then don't go as far. So just make sure that they're grounded into your mat. Coming back to center, walking yourself slowly back up. Bringing our feet now to touch into butterfly pose. Take a nice inhale, lengthening that spine. Exhale, start to dive down slightly forward, slowly, 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 and then eventually just let your head hang down low, nice and loose. Coming back to center. We're going to bring ourselves over to the left side of the mat into a low lunge position. So just extending that leg behind you, keeping your knee onto the mat, and bringing your left knee and ankle in line with one another into a nice low lunge here. You can rock back and forth here if you'd like, if it feels good to you. You can just stay here in this low lunge, get a nice stretch in the psoas here. Another option is to take your left hand and open up that left knee out to the side. Just to get a bit of a deeper stretch. If you have any issues with your knees, then please don't do this. Just remain in a low lunge or whichever is comfortable for you. Another option is to come down onto the floor for a deeper stretch. Coming back to center, dropping this leg now onto the mat, keeping your leg extended behind you into pigeon pose. Making sure that your hips are square and that they're leveled on the mat. If you need to bring your ankle closer to your inner thigh so that your hips are not lifted, one's not lifting more than the other, then you can do that. Option is to come down onto your forearms or onto your hands, completely up to you. Listen to what your body is telling you today and how far you can go. Each day our body's different, right? So sometimes we can stretch a little bit more and sometimes we can't. And sometimes one side is tighter than the other, and that's just the way it is. We have to listen to our body and not overextend. From here, we're going to shift our weight over, keeping this left leg inside, bringing our right leg now over our left knee, and just stacking the knees on top of one another. Bringing our feet closer to our hips here. And don't worry if the knees are not completely stacked, that's okay. And start to walk your hands forward. Coming back up. Releasing that leg, and now we're going to do the same series on the other side. So bringing yourself into a lunge, a low lunge here. Opening up that right knee now to the side if you'd like, or remaining in a low lunge. Back to center, dropping that leg down for pigeon pose. Again, making sure that your hips are in line with one another and they're not lifted on one side and the other. Breathing into the areas that you feel are tight, that need the most space and expansion. So bringing your breath into those areas. Coming back, up slowly, rotating over to the side, moving into cow face pose on the opposite side. So bringing our left leg now over our right knee. Bringing those heels in close to us and slowly start to walk yourself forward. Just breathe. Coming back to center, releasing your legs and bringing yourself into a seated position. And that's it. That was our 5-minute hip opening stretch. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments.